Cipa rolls out to the right, pitches off to Taylor, and Taylor's to the 20, down to the 15, down to the 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, Billy Taylor! Touchdown, Billy Taylor! Billy Taylor scored a touchdown from 21 yards out. The crowd goes berserk. It was November 22nd, 1969. That they came to Barry, Michigan, all dressed in maize and blue. The words were said, the prayers were read, and everybody cried. But when they closed the coffin, there was someone else inside. Oh, they came to Barry, Michigan, but Michigan wasn't dead. And when the game was over, it was someone else instead. 11 Michigan Wolverines put on the gloves of gray, and as the organ played the victors, they laid Woody Hayes away. Under center is Wangler at the 45. He goes back. He's looking for a receiver. He throws downfield to Carter. Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Welcome to the Michigan Man Podcast on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V Sporto Network, and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew, for Wolverine fans from coast to coast. Go Blue and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. Yesterday on our Game Day edition, we broke down the Ohio State game with Michigan beat writer Angelique Shengelis from the Detroit News. Today we take time out for a Michigan Man Extra. Tomorrow, yes, I know it's Thanksgiving Day, we'll publish our Visitors Edition with Ohio State beat writer Tim May from the Columbus Dispatch, so we hope you'll join us for that. We'll also have our Game Day notes, an injury update, and final thoughts as we approach the game on Saturday. Today on our Michigan Man Extra, we have a special guest. In 1971 against Ohio State, Michigan was trailing 7-3 late in the game. We moved the ball down to the 21-yard line, and Bo called a pitch play that is remembered by Michigan fans young and old. Even if you weren't born yet, you've heard Bob Ufer's memorable call of that play that caused him to see maize and blue spots. The three-time All-American and one of the greatest running backs in Michigan history that made that run is my guest today. Joining us next is Dr. Billy Taylor, here on the Michigan Man on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V Sporto Network and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew. Every week when our show opens during football season, the first cut you, our listeners, hear is Cipa rolls out to the right and pitches off to Taylor, and Taylor is to the 20, down to the 15, down to the 10, and we know the rest. It was a run that will live forever in Michigan football history. We are honored to have as our guest here on our Michigan Man Extra this week the gentleman that made that run, Dr. Billy Taylor. Dr. Taylor, it's an honor to have you with us.
Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. And that run, even today when I hear it, it gives me goosebumps. It was a very special time in my life.
Well, it gives you goosebumps. It gave me goosebumps as a young man listening on the radio and watching on TV. And it gave Mr. Ufer those maize and blue spots in front of his eyes we all remember.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's nothing like this time of the year and the week of Michigan versus Ohio State, which I think is the greatest sports rivalry in America, bar none. High school, college, pro, nothing beats this week and this game between these two powerhouses.
I think we all absolutely agree with that, Dr. Taylor. I know when I asked Dr. Taylor to come on the show, I mentioned that we wanted to talk about football, of course, about what's happening in the Michigan football program right now. But I thought we'd start with life, because a lot of our younger listeners have heard that cut, know about Dr. Taylor and his incredible career at Michigan. But as always, after football, there is life. And after that that incredible run and such a bright future looming for you, Dr. Taylor. As often happens for all of us in life, it didn't go according to script, did it?
Not at all. Well, I think I should probably start at saying that I've not always been Dr. Taylor. I've had a lot of extremes in my life. And my book, Get Back Up, the Billy Taylor Story, the documentary film based on my life story called Perseverance, the story of Dr. Billy Taylor. That's what I've had to do all of my life. For those that don't know, my senior year at Michigan, a three-time All-American, first team All-Big Ten, Rose Bowl trip, Michigan's most valuable player. That Rose Bowl, January 1st of 72, 4 days later, my mom suddenly passed of a heart attack, and this just devastated me, and it sent me into depression. And I should have been on medication in retrospect as I look at it and think about it, but I self-medicated, drinking, getting high just to deal with the pain. And I said, this isn't how I was brought up. This isn't the way to go. So I had gotten myself together, at least I thought, but then 4 months later in June, my mom's brother, my uncle, shot and killed my aunt, killed himself. And once again, this knocked me down again. And I continued to drink. And I forgot all about my goals, playing in the NFL, earning a doctorate degree, taking care of my mom, which I could no longer do. And I tried again to recover from this. And then in September, the girl that I was dating was brutally stabbed to death. So those three tragedies, those three deaths, all in about 9 months, it just completely knocked me down. And I went into this downward spiral for the next 20, 25 years of drinking, drugging, and just feeling hopeless. But to the grace of God, I'm here today. August 17th of 97, I heard a voice, William Taylor, come forth. And I recognized it. I knew who it was. I knew what it was because I was brought up in church, and I continued to pray during these years of depression. But I haven't had a drink, drug, or cigarette since August 17th of 1997. And I have a drug treatment facility that I founded. I'm the president and CEO, Get Back Up Incorporated, in Detroit. In 2007, I bought a closed and abandoned school from the Detroit Public Schools and started this drug rehab, and that's what I'm doing today, teaching men how to live without using drugs and alcohol. And this past August 17th is 18 years of sobriety for me, and it's meant everything.
Tell us a little bit about, as you just mentioned, you have a state-of-the-art comprehensive residential substance abuse treatment. I think it's on Dexter in Detroit, right?
That's correct, 12305 Dexter Avenue. And our website is BT, my initials, BT, getbackup.com. And there's a lot of info there telling everyone that wants to know what we do. We are a 501c3, a non-profit organization, and we're licensed for residential outpatient and prevention and intervention. So that's what I do. Most of us know drugs and alcohol is an epidemic, not just in Michigan, but across the United States. And I travel outside of the country often, and I've never met anyone that didn't have somebody in their family that did not have an issue with alcohol and or other substances. So I'm just trying to do my small part in helping reduce, crime and recidivism rates with people in and out of jail, in and out of rehab. Many of us recover, many don't, and there are some that never will. And there are statistics to show that, but having lived that lifestyle and been blessed to recover, my life work now, my ministry, if I may, although I'm a teacher, not a preacher, is about saving lives, changing lives, It's an all-male facility, so, my goal is to help these men to become taxpayers again instead of takers, to become fathers and husbands again, become responsible citizens. So that's what Get Back Up Incorporated is all about.
Well, Dr. Taylor, can you tell the story of where you came up with the name for the facility, Get Back Up?
Well, that's what I've had to do all my life. We grew up not having much materially, but a lot of love, thank God, and, life will throw a lot of blows at you, but probably I remember my old coach, Bo Schembeckler, he always said, get up, Taylor, get to the hole, get in there, get up, and somehow through my personal life experiences and then my relationship with Bo Schembeckler, I was searching for a name, and it came to me that not only in football but in life, we all get knocked down at one time or another, and it's imperative that you get back up and get back in the game, and don't just lay there, So out of my experiences and then my sports background, and particularly working under Coach Schembeckler, here it goes. Get back up.
I know that you had such a great career. We all know about that at the University of Michigan, and then what happened in the following years with the drugs and the alcohol. What impact during that time and after you recovered did your relationship with Bo Schembeckler have on you?
Well, like I was saying, it was one of the greatest times of my life, being a student athlete at the University of Michigan, and we were taught, all of us, not just me, to never give up, never quit, and you can overcome obstacles and challenges, and so I had to apply that to my personal life and not just in athletics. So it had a tremendous impact, the background and the training, the preparation that we were taught as student athletes, and particularly under Bo Schembeckler. I had to apply that to my personal life because I suffered from great depression, and I should have been on medication, but I self-medicated, and that's not the way to go. So anybody listening that has somebody that's suffering from alcohol and or drug addiction, just urge them to get some help, because there's a lot of people out here that will help you. All you have to do is ask for it. But, life will throw some blows at you, and you have to just continue. You have to persevere. And, there's going to always be some challenges. That's just a part of life.
Is it still an everyday battle, Dr. Taylor, at this point?
Oh, no. It's like some a dream that, it's almost like not reality to me. I know I did live that life. I know I did go through that period of addiction, and but I'm so far from that now, it's almost like it never happened. It is possible to recover, and I'm blessed to be able to say I have recovered, and life is wonderful without drinking and using drugs, and I want everyone listening to understand that there is life after an addiction, and if you don't stop, if you don't get into recovery, all you got to look forward to is a jail, an institution, or death. And as I tell people, I've experienced 2 out of the 3. Thank God I'm still alive. So, but no, I have no urge or desire to ever drink again. As I mentioned earlier, it's been over 18 years. This past August 17th was 18 years since I had a drink, drug, or cigarette. So, no, I live clean and sober. Like I say, I'm just a man trying to do the best I can, but I live it clean and sober.
It's a wonderful story of perseverance and faith. And our guest here on the show today is Michigan great, 3-time All-American Dr. Billy Taylor. Dr. Taylor, if we could just switch gears for a couple of minutes and talk about Michigan football in the present day. Of course, a sad week. The game is coming up on Saturday, but the Michigan football family losing young Chad Carr to pediatric brain cancer yesterday.
Yeah, that's really sad about little Chad. Tens of thousands of people, I'm sure, have been praying for this young man, and I'm sure he's in a better place right now, but he's dearly missed. Michigan football today. I just told Coach Harbaugh a week ago, as I've been telling him ever since he returned to Michigan, that this is a lot like the '69 season of Bo's first year, because I look at Jim as like another Bo Schembechler. He's about the closest thing to Bo as a coach that I know of. Perhaps Les Miles would be in that category, but I think Jim, his return has meant everything to Michigan. As you know, we've been in a slump when it comes to our major rivalries, MSU and OSU, over the past 7-8 years, but that has turned around. And I was just on WTKA last week, and I reminded the gentleman there and the listening audience that before Harbaugh's first game as head coach, I said we would not lose more than 1 or 2 games in 2015, that we would beat the Spartans and the Buckeyes, and we would win the Big Ten championship this year. Well, we didn't get beat by MSU. We lost, and I think everyone knows that. And going back to the Utah game, just like in '69, Michigan, we stumbled a couple of times, and then we went on a 5-6 game run, beating people by 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. And then we beat Ohio State in that historic 24-12 game that turned everything around for Michigan. Going back to the Utah game of this year, my honest opinion is Michigan should be undefeated right now, because we threw 3 picks against Utah, and that last pick 6 made it 24-17, and they beat us, But take that 1 pick back, it would have ended 17-17. We would have found a way to win in OT. But this team really could be and should be, in my opinion, undefeated right now. I knew that Coach Harbaugh would have that type of an impact. But when I was telling people, even Michigan faithfuls, my prediction for the 2015 team, they said, BT, no, you're too pumped up. It's not going to turn around that fast. It's going to take 2-3 years. I said no. But I went to winter conditioning. I went to some early workouts, and I saw some guys that were big as trees out there, and they were moving quick and fast. and this is about the leadership. With Coach Schembechler coming in, he changed everything. Our preparation for the game. And Coach Harbaugh, the same thing. I knew that his leadership and that great coaching staff that he's assembled, that all things were possible this year. We're not going to have to wait 2 or 3 years. So my prediction is I think is solid. We've lost the 2 games. We are going to beat the Buckeyes just like we did in '69. It would have been great for them to come in here undefeated like they were in '69, number 1 team in the country, undefeated for 2 seasons, and we bumped them off 24-12. Well, MSU beat them last week. We're going to beat them this week, and so I'm hoping that MSU or Penn State beats MSU, and then we can play for the Big Ten championship after we beat Ohio State.
Well, I think we all hope that. Looking at the game this Saturday, Dr. Taylor, do you like the matchup? I mean, Ohio State, I was surprised how they got handled by Michigan State down there in the shoe on Saturday, but do you like our matchup, especially given the fact we're still struggling running the football?
Yeah, we are struggling running the football, and I was telling Jamie Morse the other day, we don't have, as much as I love Michigan, we don't have a Jamie Morse or Tyrone Wheatley or Butch Walford running the ball this year, and he kind of said we don't have a Billy Taylor either. Well, I said, okay, I'll accept that. But coaches technique, his ability to utilize the strengths of the current players on the team. That's all he has to work with. And the way he shuffles guys in and out, he finds a way to win and make it work. Some of the best players that will be playing for Michigan are not playing this year. It's new recruits coming in and some transfers that are not playing. So next year, it's, the team is going to be off the hook, so to speak. It's just going to be an amazing season. But getting back to this upcoming game, the way Michigan State played, they cranked it up several levels. They were without their starting quarterback, and they went into Columbus and came out with a victory. That just says anything can happen on Saturday. You can never underestimate your opponents. And I think Ohio State underestimated us in '69, and I still think they're cocky enough to think they're going to come into Michigan Stadium and dominate, but I don't think so. It's, we are able to ratchet up our game, when we come to playing Michigan State and playing Ohio State. It's going to be a very physical game, but I believe we'll be pumped up, we'll be coached up, and we're going to rise to the occasion and defeat them on Saturday. It's all about the right mental attitude, and that was a big thing with Coach Schembechler, and it's a big thing with Jim Harbaugh, the right mental attitude. They call it the RMA. So we just going to have to go out there and play our best game, on both sides of the ball, and we got the home field advantage. We're going to come out with a victory.
Well, we're all hoping so, Dr. Taylor. And before you get away, I just want to ask you to think back to your days wearing that wing-tipped helmet and matching up with Ohio State. We all know about the 1971 game, but how different for you was that game from every other game on the Michigan schedule?
Wow. We were always coached by Bo. No game is more important than the one you're going to play on Saturday. You got to take them a game at a time. But you better believe in the back of my mind and my teammates' mind, and even with Coach Schembechler, we found out we're always thinking about that matchup against Ohio State and what we need to do in order to win that game. But you can't overlook, next week's opponents. Now we're in the week for Ohio State. We can let it all hang out. We found out from Coach Schembechler that certain defenses we practiced during the season and certain offensive plays we ran during the season were all about preparing us to attack Ohio State offensively and defensively. And I'm sure Coach Harbaugh, with his background and experience, he played for Bo as I did in a 15-year NFL career, and growing up in Ann Arbor, he knows what he has to do to win that game. It's special. As I tell people, it's more than a football game. That's the attitude that I'm sure Coach Harbaugh has and his 2015 team, and I'll be right there to watch us beat the Buckeyes this Saturday.
Well, we're hoping that happens. I think it's going to happen too, Dr. Taylor. I'd like to thank you, though, for taking time from what is your busy schedule to join us to talk about not just football, but your life, and which is very important, an important story for people to hear, especially our young Michigan football fans and listeners. So, Dr. Billy Taylor, three-time All-American, one of the greatest players to ever wear the maize and blue. Thank you, sir, for taking time to be on the show.
Thank you for having me, and go blue to all that's listening.
Thanks again to Dr. Billy Taylor for taking time from his very important work to join us today. It was an honor to have him on the show. Coming up next, we wrap it up for today with Wolverine Quick Hits here on The Michigan Man on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V Sporto Network and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew. On Wolverine Quick Hits today, just a few reminders. Tomorrow, we'll publish our Visitors Edition with Ohio State beat writer Tim May from the Columbus Dispatch as our guest. I'll also have injury updates, some game day notes, and final thoughts on Saturday's home finale, so I hope you'll join us for that. My free show apps are available from the stores at iTunes, Google Play, and Windows 8. Follow us on Twitter at The Michigan Man, where you can also follow Wolverine Sports Radio at Go Blue Radio. Like us on Facebook at The Michigan Man Podcast. If you get the show from iTunes, please take a minute to rate or comment on the show. That will do it for this edition of the Michigan Man Extra, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. I'll see you back here tomorrow for our final preview of the game this Saturday. So please join us for that. Have a wonderful Maize and Blue Thanksgiving, everyone. Until tomorrow, take care, and as always, go blue. Thanks for joining us today on The Michigan Man, here on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V-Sporto Network, and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew. Our listener lines are open 24/7 for your calls at 313-263-4842. That's 313-263-4842. Or email us at themichiganmanpodcast@yahoo.com. That's themichiganmanpodcast@yahoo.com. The Michigan Man Podcast is produced at the studios of Robin Lynn Productions, Allen Park, Michigan, and is not affiliated with the University of Michigan. Go Blue!